registration to daily shows at acoustichealth.com. acoustichealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this beautiful heart space today. We are talking about spiritual guidance, this divine inspiration within each of us that actually shows us the way, helps us navigate in our outer world. And my guest today is here to show you how she connects to this divine inspiration. And it is through the way of the rainbow. She calls it the rainbow method. And we can do this for prayer, meditation, personal transformation, and even business transformation. Reverend Barbara Marie Babish is here with us once again for a quantum conversation where we will dive into this inner knowingness. Welcome, Barbara Marie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. I had a bit of a rough start to my day, so it's nice to come and just be in this calm, wonderful space with you, Loren.
Yes, this is the calm, wonderful space. I absolutely love gathering with all the hearts. We can feel everyone, whether they're joining us live in this moment or even listening to this recording. We welcome everyone. So let's talk about this, Barbara. When we go through periods of rough starts, rough and tumble, what is that like for you? How do you recognize it? And what do you do to bring yourself back into center?
Well, when I experience those rough moments, I feel it in my body as stress, and I immediately go myself to the rainbow methods and taking a deep breath, kind of asking for guidance in that moment. What's really wrong? Is there anything wrong? Why am I feeling tense? And the answer usually comes right in that moment, whether it's all is well or they give me a hint on I need to change my thinking about something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's speaking of the present ones, a group that I work with.
Yes, the present ones, which we can have you talk a little bit more about how they came to you, but this could actually be aspects of your higher self as well,
and
your inner voice. And that's so beautiful that when you feel it in your body, you know to go in, take a deep breath, and receive that guidance. That's almost the trigger, right? You know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, we're going to talk about the present ones, but let's talk about the rainbow methods, because this is really your focus of work right now. In fact, you're helping the whole range of people, particularly like the grandmotherly types, the ones who are really solid in who they are, now stepping up to really assist the planet in so many ways. Let's talk about the rainbow methods. How did they come to you? What was going on?
Okay. Back in about 2008, when the present ones really came forward to me, I guess they'd been talking to me for a while, but I didn't realize there was a specific group that wanted my attention. And so once they did get my attention, I started working with them. Usually, as soon as I'd wake up in the morning, there would be messages coming, and I'd write them down. And then throughout the day during my meditations, they would be giving me messages, and we'd have conversations. And they asked me, I think it was back in 2008, they asked me specifically, do you want to be the one to bring in the rainbow methods? And being fearful little old me out here on the farm, thinking, who am I to do this? And not feeling safe, what I said at the time was, well, yes, but just give me like one step at a time, and then I'll tell you, do I want to proceed? So they would give me, say, the red color band and the information. When I felt safe with using that, then I said, okay, what's the next step? And then gradually, like now it's, 2021, and they're still giving me steps, and I'm just like, okay, I feel safe, I'll go ahead. Next step, okay, I feel safe, go ahead. So for those listeners that, don't feel safe with just trusting whatever comes to them, there is hope. And you can say to your own guidance, I'll just go one step at a time. But anyways, getting back to the actual rainbow methods, the first one that came to me was the actual, what we called the way of the rainbow, and that was the personal transformation system. And I didn't know that there would be anything else after that, because I spent my time developing the way of the rainbow and that system, that program, and worked with quite a few women, and they helped me even develop it further, because they all followed their own guidance, and they also followed what the present ones were telling them. So that's how it really first started. And then after that, I got the prayer method, the meditation method, and even the business method, which is kind of in my head, but I haven't got it in writing yet. And it's basically going step by step with the present ones on all of these offerings. And, the neat thing about our guidance, if it's true guidance, I feel, is that we're always given a choice. We're never told, do this. It's what comes to me is, well, you could do this or you could do that. So whatever is comfortable for me, that's how they lead me. I guess that may not be true for everyone, but maybe I'm slower to trust than the average person. But that's how I like to receive it, step by step, and to be given choices. So that's how they work with me, and that's how the rainbow methods came about.
Wow, thank you. I love what you shared, that we trust what comes, and following it. And then this true guidance, we are given the choice. And it's interesting to see the choices that we make and the years that can go by. Not following or, not taking actions, but then maybe hearing the voice come around again, even more significantly, refueling the fire to get things done. Have you noticed that in your way, and have you come to be more active with what you get? How's that process for you?
Yeah, it's funny. There is another part to this as well, is getting yourself ready to be the person you need to be able to make certain offerings. So we might be guided. I mean, like I said, there's something new that came up for me, and I'll talk about that in a minute, called the Rainbow Healing Light. And I was given that back in 2011 and worked with the Rainbow Healing Light a little bit and left it. I couldn't even tell you now why I left that and didn't focus on it. And just this week, it came back as a main highlight that I am to be offering it again, and maybe teaching healers to do the Rainbow Healing Light. So whatever we don't do in the past, we're guided again. It will come back and come back. But like I said, I think the important part for me personally was that I needed to become more confident in myself, more confident in my gifts, to keep the passion for what flows through me, and be able to say, yes, I will share this with the public, rather than, well, I'll just keep this in my safe little group. But I had to become a new person, like almost every year. And as of January again this year, it's like, oh my God, I've grown, I've changed, I'm ready to offer everything now. And it seems everything that I've offered over the years has all come back at once. And it's very exciting, to say the least. So I've grown into the person I needed to be able to follow all of the guidance now.
Yeah, that's good that you can grow into that. I think that is a common path for so many light workers. We get that inner call. We hear the inner call of the heart. We get the action steps. But if we're not confident in that, right? If there's so many things that we still have to clear, like past life issues where maybe we were stifled in another lifetime or even killed from another lifetime. Did you witness any of that? Did any clarity come up for you? What was that like?
Yes. Some people call them thresholds. I call them blocks. Whenever I've reached a block, it's so funny because I recognize it right away now, whereas I didn't for years. If I'm reaching a block, it has to do with past lifetimes being killed for speaking my truth. It also could be parts of myself that are holding me back. They think they're trying to protect me. And to me, that has to do with inner child work. So I have all these little girls within me that don't feel safe with me coming out of the closet, so to speak, with my gifts. And so I have to talk to the 3-year-old, and I have to talk to the 7-year-old and the 17-year-old. And sometimes I have to hug my little stuffed puppy. It's like a little teddy bear. And he comforts me. His name is Sunny. And sometimes if I'm feeling doubtful or blocked, I know it's hard to imagine this 68-year-old gray-haired woman hugging a little teddy bear. But sometimes I need that, and it helps me get over the fear that's blocking me. And I think I've been able to release a lot of the past life experiences of being killed for what I believe and what I speak. But so it could be so many things that block us that we have to get over, dissolve, release, whatever we are to do with that specific block. Then we go forward again to the next step and the next step. And then if we reach another block, then we have to think, okay, we can use the way of the rainbow process actually to go through your blocks and just keep going, one foot in front of the other. If you keep getting guided to share your gifts, this is what we do. We just go one step at a time and do what we can, and it all happens in divine timing anyways, so we can't be too hard on ourselves. As long as we want to share our gifts, then there's all these little steps we go through.
Well, thank you for going through those steps and for expanding into your great service work. This is what so many are doing. Everyone listening to this show is really, whether you believe it or not or are aware of it or not, everyone listening to this show has made it to listen for a reason, because each of us are being activated in new ways to step up in new ways, new creativity, new expressions, new vibrations for New Earth. So, Barbara Marie, we thank you for being bold and doing that work yourself. And so here we have the rainbow methods, and they come from the present ones who are your guides. Let's talk about the different methods, the prayer and meditation. And I know we're going to be experiencing one of these as well.
Right. I will explain, let's see, what will I do here? I'll just talk about the rainbow methods generally. The rainbow methods use the 7 colors of the rainbow, which are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Violet always has so much energy, extra energy for me. For each of those, each of the methods, like the prayer, the meditation, etc., they're basically the same, but there's subtle differences when using the colors within each of these other methods. So, for example, in the Way of the Rainbow program, we would call in the red color band, as we're instructed to do, and we follow those instructions for the red, and then we call in the orange color band, and we follow the instructions for that, and so on through the 7 colors. But there's something really special when you follow any of these and you use all 7 colors as directed. There is this powerful synergy that happens. So even if you just use one of the colors, there is a power in it. But when you use all 7, it's unexplainable. For those that feel energy, you will feel this extra power. It's, instead of using the 7 colors, it seems like you're using 177. Like you'll have the power of that. It's hard to explain because it's all energy. But getting to, for instance, the rainbow method of personal transformation. That's my 7-week program, and it's called the Way of the Rainbow. And you're given those basic steps, but you're also given activations and personal guidance given, it's usually in a small group, so there's usually individual guidance, but also guidance for the whole group. And that goes on for the 7 weeks. And then you use that, you learn it once, and you use it the rest of your life. But each time you do use it, you grow yourself. And the powers somehow of the rainbow grow as well. And then it's going to be the same with the business transformation. Like I said, it's all in my head. I just have to get it down on paper. And I'm thinking I'll be ready to present that maybe at the end of this year. The Rainbow Method of Prayer, that's an ebook, and it's free at the moment. And I give all of those steps, which I'll be doing, explaining the Rainbow Method of Prayer in a minute in detail. And the Rainbow Method of Meditation, that is particularly to receive spiritual guidance. And so there's using the steps again in this special way, and you'll end up focusing on the step where you will receive inner guidance. And again, I don't know if I mentioned that's in the ebook as well. And then, like I did mention, the Rainbow Healing Light, that's really exciting to me right now because, like I said, it actually came to me in 2011. I left it at some point, and this week, like it's just, miraculous when you're working with the spiritual realm and the divine timing of things. And, I talk about using the rainbow methods to live a life of joy and magic. And that's what it is. It's when you've got these systems to use, and you use them, which is where the benefits are. And then you feel like you've got control of your life along with your spiritual guidance. And it's not the human advice that you're running along. It's not your ego. It is divine guidance coming through for you, giving you these little wonderful steps to follow. When you follow them, you live this life of joy and magic. It's just remarkable. So anyways, the joy and excitement for me right now is this rainbow healing light, which I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it shows you, when you've got something special, it will come back until you actually use it.
Let's talk more about the rainbow healing light, because you said that is something that you actually want to start working with. Can we experience something with this to better understand how we work with this rainbow method?
Good question.
Did you want to do a process with us?
This is a little shift, so I have to make sure I feel that, we can do something with this today. I don't know what exactly yet. I will be guided, I'm sure. I did have the rainbow prayer. I wanted to give the steps of that. I wanted to give an example using like an everyday experience of how to use that prayer. Then I was going to do an activation for people to receive the rainbow energies. And I'm almost feeling to do an activation for the rainbow healing light.
Wow.
The healing, to do like a universal healing thing, I think. I mean, I won't know until the words come out of my mouth. But my body's feeling good about this. I am excited about it. So, this is interesting. Maybe we should do this first.
Or you could do the prayer. That sounds lovely.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. And we'll end, if there's time at the end for the rainbow healing light, I will channel something about that. How's that?
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, don't you just love divine guidance? Wonderful. So, did you want me just to proceed, Loren, with the steps for the prayer?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
And tell us a little bit more about the rainbow prayer method. This amplifies our prayers or energizes our prayers? Well,
it's kind of interesting. It gives you steps. It gives you colors to call in. It's probably not like any prayer that anyone has ever done before. It originally came to me. Gosh, I don't even know when, but I have had miracles using this prayer.
Beautiful.
It'll make more sense when I start giving you the colors and what to do.
Okay.
It is kind of, I think it's mostly beneficial to use when you have a conflict with someone and that you're kind of past the talking stage.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't listen to you and you don't want to listen to them. This is the perfect way to handle it, is with the rainbow prayer method.
What an important time on our planet right now for this.
Oh, yeah.
As we heal the polarity.
Yes.
Right? We must get to a point where we heal and overcome polarity. So perfect.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that this is a perfect time in the world for everyone to be using this prayer.
Yes.
It's simple. It's got 7 steps. You go about it in a reverent way, like you would normally in a prayer method, or in any kind of prayer. So, I need to kind of go into just a little bit deeper sacred space here. Okay, there is a preparation step here that if you are full of anger and resentment, you let that out as much as you can before you even start the prayer. So if you're at a space where you want to scream, beg, release anger, punch a pillow, you can do all that before you even start, and that will take some of the emotion, the negative emotion out of the situation. Then you go into your sacred space, and a person could light a candle, or have your little statues or rocks or stones or feathers or whatever your little process is before you do your sacred work. So you would call in the red color vibration into your awareness. And what you would do with this red color vibration is it's the space, it's the sacred space where you call in your guidance team. So this might be God, your angels, your guides, people who have passed away, but you also call in your higher self. This is a major key. You call in your higher self, and if there's a conflict with another person or situation, you call in their higher self. So it's going to be the higher selves working with, I'll just use the word God, working with God to resolve whatever this situation is. Sometimes I like to call in Jesus. Jesus is a guide of mine, and so I like to call him in specifically. Sometimes I would call in Mother Mary specifically, although they are also part of the present ones. I speak to them as individuals, and they speak to me as individuals as well. So once you've done that, then you call in your awareness to the orange color vibration. And this takes you into a state of gratitude. So you bring to your mind, I should say, all of the good things in your life and everything that you're grateful for. And then also, if this is about a conflict with a person, then you would also say the things, bring to your mind the things that you are grateful for regarding that person. So even if you've got a conflict in one area with them, you might appreciate many other things about them. And try real hard to at least find one good thing that you can appreciate about them. Then we're calling in the yellow color band, and again it's calling in your awareness to the yellow color band. This is where we release anything negative that you're feeling in the moment. So you breathe in love and you breathe out all that is negative. You breathe in love, breathe out all that is negative. You breathe in love, you breathe out all that no longer serves you. And you state that you wish to work with God, universe, etc., creator, on finding a solution to this situation. Then we're calling in the green color band into our awareness. This is where you state your love for the ones that are involved in this situation. You give the details of the situation. So all of the details that you can think of that would surround all of this, this is where you put that information into the green color band. Then we call in the blue. And this is where you speak your desire for a win-win situation and for the highest good of all concerned. And so it's not necessarily what you want, it's for the highest good that you actually want. It's not coming from your ego, it's coming from your heart. And you may also make suggestions then of possible outcomes that would help resolve this, and you do all that in the blue. Then we call in the indigo, and that's where you ask for guidance in the situation, and you stay open to hearing the guidance, feeling the guidance, however it is that you receive guidance, you stay open to that in that time. So this might be the longest part of this rainbow method of prayer, where you're listening And you might be writing things down as you receive it. Like if you hear voices, it would be great if you wrote down what the voices told you. Or if you get the sense and feelings of something or images, that's where you would write all that down. And of course, if you don't get anything in those moments, just be open to receiving it later that day or even the next day. Because if you remember, the other person will also be affected by this because you're working with their higher self too, not just yours. So sometimes they might take a day or two or months to receive something, a message on what they might need to be doing. But again, right now you're working on you and what you're going to receive if you receive guidance. And then to finish off, you call in the violet color band and you release all of this to the spiritual world. You release it to God to work on and trust that your prayer is being answered. So you say thank you and you end the session. And then you just repeat this every day if you can. Because each time you do it, it'll probably be shorter because you already know in your head the steps, especially if you're writing them down. And you can kind of shorten them each time because you'll just be more familiar with it. And then just stay longer again in that indigo section where you would be listening and receiving guidance. Because sometimes there is something we could do. Even like we might get the guidance to phone the person and say you're sorry. Or to send a note, send a card, or to leave them alone. Many people receive that kind of guidance, is keep up the prayer, leave them alone, and they will come along. I had, I'll tell you one miracle with this method. It was to do with my grandson who, his mother didn't get along with us, and she took the baby away from us when he was a month old. And she never communicated with us, and I just kept praying, that she would receive whatever she needed to receive, and that I would get guidance to help in some way. And when this gorgeous little boy was 11 months old, she phoned me. And much to my surprise, she said, I'm sorry, I'm such a bitch. I need your help. I know you love your grandson and, blah, blah, blah. And that started the whole relationship then of us getting to know him and to be able to help her. That particular case, that took 10 months. But other times I've used it, it's within a week. And again, very, very, very powerful. If you stick with it, if you do all the steps, and it's just kind of like saying, if this is true for you, I've tried everything else, I might as well try this too.
I love that. That is how it works multidimensionally, how it works through the higher self, through the heart space, outside of the ego. I'm so glad that she came and became aware of that. And you know what, Barbara Marie? You actually did a similar process like this with me in my life last year, and I used it, and it works. It is amazing. I mean, within moments of doing this little process, I saw the world change. And again, isn't it? It's respect. This is where, on a multidimensional level, on a soul level, we are respecting each other. We're respecting ourselves, and we're respecting the other person, and we're invoking these steps, working with the colors of the rainbow at different levels, speaking our desires, putting in details of a solution, releasing negativity, asking for guidance. And this process, once we release it all to Source, and we trust that it's taken care of, look at the results.
Yeah, you can go to sleep at night, and if you still got the problem the next day, you spend that time again. But it allows you to well, again, for me, it allowed me to go to sleep at night and know that, someone is working on this.
Yes, it's taken care of.
Yeah, and it's not just me and what I want. That's what I liked about this. It's because sometimes we think we know what we want, but it's not for our highest good, and it's not for other people's highest good either. It's when it comes from ego, it may not always be the best solution.
Now, question... Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I can give an example of this whenever you're ready for that.
Yes, very quickly, I wanted to ask, there are some who say, how do you hear that higher guidance? How do you trust it? So when you hear your higher guidance, can you describe the quality of that voice? Right? Mm-hmm. How do you know? How do you know?
I think I learned to recognize it by the feeling of love that comes with it. I'm also fortunate in the way that I see colors as well. So if I close my eyes and I see green and violet, I see them kind of as like floating clouds intermingling, like a green clouds and violet clouds. So I know I'm connected. That's one way. Then I hear the voice. Usually it's very clear. And then I also feel the love. So I think it's just experience. And the more you go into meditation, especially for guidance, the more you'll learn to recognize it. At first, in about 1997, something like that, I wondered, okay, because you learn this, the beginners learn, okay, is this my ego, or is this some kind of bad entity? And, I went through all of that as well in the beginning. But again, just having a daily practice, which is so important for staying spiritually grounded. The rest of it comes, the trust, getting some education in the areas of ego and alignment and divine alignment and all of that. That helps too. But for those of us that feel, I think that's where we're quite fortunate that we feel it in our body. We can feel peace. We can feel love. We feel like, that saying, all is well. I mean, it is a feeling that everything's okay. And so in those three ways are how I was able to just develop it now. And it's just a very natural thing that I know when it's guidance. There is something that I show people and tell people who are worried about, who is this talking to me? Because I had every little Tom, Dick, and Harry in the spiritual world. Once I became much more open in 2001, it was like everyone in the spiritual world was trying to talk to me. Like, can you tell my Uncle Joe I love him? And can you tell my mom I'm sorry? And I'm saying, who are you all? If this is receiving guidance, I don't want it. And what came, I have to tell you this. I was at the kitchen doing dishes one day, and my husband came in the room and said, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "Oh, did I say that out loud?" And that was when, all of these beings were coming through. And so I was able to receive guidance once I calmed down and said, I don't want to do this anymore. A group called Avantar, they came to me and they said, if you like, we'll be your gatekeepers and we'll only let through the highest guidance. And so that's when I would call on Avantar to help only the highest beings coming through. And then that's what happened. And one other tip that I learned is because I've been kind of, I don't want to use the word attacked, but there was some beings that came through when I was having a drumming circle one day, and I could feel something wasn't right. And what I was shown was just to say, if you're not for my highest good, you must leave now. And to say that 3 times, and they left. And in all these years, I've only had to use it 3 times, and it worked every time. So that's another little hint that if someone is worried that the voices speaking through them may not be of the highest light, then you can say, if you're not for my highest good, you must leave now. And I've told other people, and it's worked magically.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That is very helpful for those who really know how to really take care, stand in our own power, and command certain things. That is always in our power. And the higher self is always in charge when we connect in that way.
Right.
So, okay, thank you. You wanted to share an example.
Yeah. This is kind of what I call one of my tough case examples. It's in the ebook. This is an example of a mother using this prayer method with her son who is on drugs. So Susan, we're calling her Susan. This child was her son, and he was known to come home late at night and be high on drugs. So she always tried to talk to him, but it never worked. And so one day she decided to use the rainbow prayer method. So for her red, she lit a candle, she sat down quietly, took some deep breaths, called in her angels and her guides. Then she called in her own spiritual self and her son's spiritual self. And one other, I think it was Jesus. So she had a friend, Heather, that she talks to about her family. So she called in Heather's higher self as well. So then for her orange, she goes over her gratitude list and she writes down all of the things that she's grateful for, and also including the things that she's grateful for that particular son. So she talks about, her good job, how she loves her mother and her mother helps her, things like that. And realizes really what a good life she's got and how wonderful her son was before he started all the drugs and how close they were. So then when she's calling in the yellow, she's releasing all that no longer serves her. And that is just having the intention of that. So she included releasing fear and releasing judgment, which is a really big thing for all of us to do. Releasing her hard feelings that she had about her son. She acknowledged the power that she has with God and within her spiritual self. And she somehow felt that they would work as a team. She really could accept that they would work as a team to resolve this situation. So Susan then, bringing in the green, she spoke with love that she has for her son, acknowledged that she only wants the best for him. And even though he's hurt her terribly with his words and his actions, that she'll never stop loving him. And she'll always have the faith that he can turn his life around if he so chooses, even though she can't possibly understand how he can do it now, being in the middle of this drug situation. But she has faith that, all that's possible with God's help. So she spoke the problems that she had with her son and the drug use. She wrote out all the details of that situation. She let out all of her frustrations and her fears. And she actually cried and cried and cried. And then when she felt better, she continued. I think she was, crying out those feelings of being helpless and hopeless. So then she calls in the blue, and she asked for the win-win situation for them all. And she asked that her son be shown how he was really hurting himself. And she asked that he be shown how he's hurting her and the family. She asked that he be shown that he's actually looking for something, and that something can't be found in drugs. So she then asked that he be shown another way to handle his problems and his feelings. And she asked that he be shown how to be happy in his life, and that his own guidance team speak to him. So then she called in the indigo, and at this point she asked for guidance in the situation for herself. She was open to hearing the guidance. She sat in silence and listened, and she asked if there might be something she can do now to ease the situation. And she waited a few minutes but didn't hear anything or see any signs. So then she released it all to the spiritual world, calling in that violet color band, and trusted that her prayer was being answered. And she said thank you at the end of the session. So she'll end up doing this prayer, continuing until she's led by her guidance to do something different, or that her son shows some kinds of signs of change. And then she can change this prayer accordingly until it's all resolved. And so that's just how Susan handled her issue with her son. And that's the example that I give in the ebook.
See how healing that is? And how transformative it is to, it requires this higher perspective. And the colors take you there, and you know, doing that with the bands, really saying what we're grateful for, that really is powerful.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Again, we can see utilizing this in our world, with, again, the disagreement, and getting us all to a place where we can focus on what we do want to create together, because we're all here together.
And we can use this, I won't give the example, but in the political situation around the world, we can use it for poverty. If someone has a passion, for instance, finding homes for stray dogs, or saving children off the streets, helping, whatever the passion is that you've got, you can use this prayer for helping resolve it, whether it's within your family, your community, or the world. And as it expands, it will change the world. And it's taking you from what your ego is against to what you are for. And so you focus on what you are for, not what you are against. And that's what's going to change the world.
Thank y'all for focusing on what we want. This is why we always say keep our eyes on the vision of New Earth. And if those who don't have a vision of New Earth, start getting your vision of New Earth. This is something we can do in meditation. It connects us to our soul path, and it makes us feel good, and it actually sets us up to take the action steps as they are presented. By having that vision, we know what to do when things come up. So, very important. Well, Barbara Marie, we would love an activation now to receive these rainbow energies.
Yes, we will do that now, and I believe there will be time to do the rainbow healing light, something with that as well.
Oh, good.
So I'll just tap into the present ones here, and we will receive an activation of these rainbow colors within us, within our bodies, within our awareness. So when many people are drawn to rainbows. And when you really understand, I could just cry right now. They're such a sign that we're not alone, that there is a spiritual presence here. And when we can understand the beauty of each color and how each color melts into the next, and how they're all related, and yet they work together as a rainbow. It just touches your heart, and it's like the rainbow. When you see one, you smile, and it's like that rainbow is there just for you. And when you get that, you've got a whole new power. You've got a whole new, what's the word? A whole new batch of tools to use to stay connected to your higher source. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about this. Okay, let's just take a deep breath. Just filled with love here. Yummy. Feels wonderful. I will be using the language of light as well for this. There will be some language of light, I am assuming, and then some English. And we'll just see what the present ones have to say. So we ask that you just stay in this sacred container that we've created during this call. Kishia ani amiteo ilialisha etia wana nekaya ini asita o elaya ki imi ahishiane ati ala ame okero sante. We are filled with joy. It is the expression of the rainbow energies that are being released and being released and being released to you now. Keria Sante, your hearts are open. We feel the heart opening in all of you. It is such excitement and joy that we are sharing this with you, beloved ones. Ami ateo ili ishai, ani akero ilia sante le ishi aya, omi ola siya, etia wanane aya, eloshe, 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 alia tia mi, kiri oseo. The rainbow energies. And we smile as we share this with you. The rainbow energies are changing your lives right now in this moment. This group is so thirsty for the rainbow energies, so ready to receive them. This is the highest energetic level of beings that we have come across with the rainbow energies right now with this group. So be aware of your own specialness. Be aware that you are ready for more. And this is part of the more. This activation, this renewing, this magnifying of the rainbow energies in your field. Kiri alisha she alia ome okero isante li ishi alia ineke ari alia sitalia imi ishoe. We ask that you drink extra water for the next 3 days. We ask that this be easy and gentle on your systems. Easy and gentle and graceful and filled with love. Imi ala she ali atia kiri asia ne la ahi. We give you back to Barbara Marie. Okay, I just need a moment. I am seeing that beautiful green and the beautiful violet and those clouds that I see that show me this divine connection. It is so beautiful, so filled with love. You know, my wish is that you all can feel it too, especially the love that just flows from the present ones. It's just that feeling that, you know, they know I'm here. And so you can take those words yourself and say, they know I'm here. little old me sitting here at my computer or on my phone or wherever you are listening, they know you are here. They know you're on a spiritual journey. They know everything about you. And as you meditate, grow in whatever spiritual practices you use, you can call on the present ones and they will be there for you. And they may come through as individuals. They may come through as a group. And they may continue to come through now because of this activation in the colors of the rainbow. And if you start to see red in a new way, you might find a red color that just speaks to you. And it's like it's your friend somehow, or an orange, or any of the other colors that are in the rainbow. It may be the rainbow itself that speaks to you, but it may be these individual colors. So I just ask that you be aware of that now. And it is, oh my gosh, it is just such great joy feeling the energy of this group. It is strong. It is filled with love. And I congratulate all of you for being here. And I am so happy, Loren, that I could be here today too.
Thank you, Barbara Marie. We are certainly feeling the love and knowing that they know we are here. So we'll be watching for rainbows. Mm-hmm. We'll be watching for colors in the sky. I love how you put that is the connection to the divine that you see. And this is when we look out at the world, how we can truly see God in everything, source in everything. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Mm. All right. And so I remind everyone, drink that water, because this energy activation lifts our frequency. And speaking of lifting our frequency, let's talk about rainbow healing light.
All righty. I just have to. I am amazed again at how this has come back just this week. And it was only last night that I gave the first activation of this for someone who is one of your listeners, actually, Loren. She came and found me through you from our first interview that we did.
Perfect.
And she is so drawn to the rainbow methods and really all, I have a 6-month program and she's in that. And now she's being drawn, this is my lovely friend Diane, to the rainbow healing light. And so the present ones actually gave her this first activation for the rainbow healing light. And so she'll be able to use it now as a healing method in the work that she does. And I think they want to just go right into it to give everyone a rainbow healing light session. And it will be, I'm kind of being shown it will be short, but very powerful, because they've already done something energetically very powerful. They don't want to overload everyone. But this will be a taste of the activation, a taste of the healing, sorry. So it's not an activation, it's actually a healing session. Sorry, I'm just picking this up as they're telling me. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so they're going to actually do a rainbow healing for the listeners. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So do you want me to repeat?
Wow, how special. What a gift. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll maintain this sacred space once again. And I will call on the present ones. They do have a wonderful sense of humor, too. So half the time I'm laughing and smiling as I'm speaking, because as I'm receiving their message to tell you, or I channel it directly, there's always, they're either laughing, smiling, or something, and I'm picking that up too. So sometimes it's a little tricky to kind of like, am I supposed to say that? Or are you just sharing that with me and I'm to say something else? It's fun. It's fun being the channel that they speak through. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sacred space. Laughing aside for the moment. Oh, they are just so filled with joy. I hope some of you can feel that. Okay. Taking in a deep breath again, ready to receive. Kiri ala she itiawanane aya. Yes, we are smiling too. It is with great love that we send each of you this rainbow healing light. So we just ask that you have an intention specifically for this moment, something that you would like healing for. And we use that word gently because there really is nothing to be healed. And yet, at the levels that we communicate with humanity, healing is a word that many understand. So when we say we are giving you this rainbow healing light session, it is with that understanding that each of you are going to understand what we say in a different way. So to some, we are unpeeling the layers of the onion, so to speak. To some, we are uncovering past pain. To some, we are actually melting the pain. It is, again, we use the word rainbow healing, but it is the light that we're sending, and we let you understand the word healing in any manner that you wish. Kimi aseto ili alisha, eri alasia, kilio ishi ale. So you each have your own intention of something you would like healed. Kiri alase orio elisha, ami amoe ali anatia, eti e olia kimi alasea. Let yourself feel hugged. Let yourself feel loved. Kiri alase oshiaya ani amia. Think of yourself being loved by your mother, the divine mother who has unconditional love for you. And just come forward as a child for this hugging and this loving from the divine mother. Kimi alashe orio iliasita, kiria ise ili e oshonaya, amiateo ilia lahi. We are sending you red, the energy of red. We are sending you the orange, flowing ever so gently, turning that into the yellow, coming from the orange to the yellow ever so gently, and then going into the green, sending you the green as it emerges and comes into the blue. And the blue then is ever changing, getting a bit darker into the indigo. And as we're sending you the indigo, that slowly changes to violet, that divine connection of the violet. And know that you are surrounded by these colors now. And each color is doing its job as individual colors, but as the group energy we call the rainbow. Kishi alati ili asante. Know that this rainbow will stay with you in this healing mode for 3 days. And so once again, keep up that water. You must let it flow energetically. You don't even have to think of this moment again, of this healing time, but know that your life is changing as you have the intention to receive it. Some of you may notice a difference immediately. Some of you may not notice a difference at all. And many of you will be in between. So know that your heart is being opened to receive. Know that you are receiving these rainbow colors, the rainbow energies, the unconditional love from the Divine Mother. And know that you are a changed person from this moment on. Know that your life has changed. Some of you will feel it in a small way, some of you in a very big way. And know that all is well. Wherever you're at, all is well. And we give you back to Barbara Marie. I just need a moment again. And breathing in love and breathing out love. Letting love flow through us. Just coming back to the room now with Loren and all of the listeners.
We are feeling this connection, this peace, this calm, this fortitude. Thank you so much for this.
Wow. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel loved.
We feel the love. We feel the love. And this is really the key. Staying connected in this way. And building this bridge and working with the beautiful colors of the rainbow. The rainbow bridge we hear a lot about the rainbow bridge, and that is the connection to heaven. And so with this activation, that's the feeling of connection.
Yes. Wonderful.
Well, Barbara Marie, you have talked about ways that people can work with you. And what I want to focus on is the beautiful sessions that you offer. So as you work with clients one-on-one in private personal sessions to talk about, it's actually a light language activation, but it's on the rainbow methods. Can you share about what goes on in a personal session with your clients?
Yes, I can do that. We will tap into the messages that are specifically for you, the activations that you specifically need. These ones offered today, the one-on-one session with me today, we will focus on the rainbow energies within you. There will be specific messages for you in that regard, depending on your intentions and our collective intentions for the session. Whatever you need, you will get. And saying that, you know, it's kind of presumptuous of me to say that. Like, whatever you need is what you're going to get. But, you know, honestly, it's true. After doing this for 20 years, it's true. Whatever each person needs coming through these sessions, it's like your higher self can pick out what you need or focus what comes through me to you in a way that you need to hear it, you need to see it, or you need to feel it. And they're absolutely amazing sessions. And again, each one is different. We kind of follow a process of bringing our energies together, focusing on the client's intentions, and then letting the higher selves take over, the present ones take over, to give the client whatever it is they need in the way they need to receive it. So again, phenomenal results when we let the present ones guide us through the session.
So the guidance from the present ones, and actually the connection to our own higher self in that way will become known.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, we heard the light language that you speak, and we've discussed in our earlier interview how multidimensional and activating that is in its own sense. And you've got another option of light language activations. So those who want to do a personal session with you, they could just do the personal session, but you're including an option to include light language activations. People can also purchase those separately. What are these light language activations, and how do people work with them?
It's a matter of taking yourself into a sacred space and just listening. And the way I've got them set up is that you would receive one a week, and you'd listen to that every day or every second day, depending, how dedicated you are. Some people listen to them twice a day, but they're audio files, and like I said, you'd receive a link each week by email, and that leads you to giving you the link for each week. And I'm just thinking now if it's a downloadable link. Yes, I believe it is. So you can save it to your computer as well, and then easier to listen to every day or twice a day or every second day, whatever you decide. The more dedicated you are to listening, they're only about 7 minutes is kind of the average for that. And so they don't take that much time, but they're still very powerful. So, for example, one of them is releasing judgment. Oh my goodness, who doesn't need that? Every single one of us judges someone or something.
Or ourselves.
And especially ourselves. And so that's an activation to help you release judgment. There's the gratitude that keeps you at a higher vibration. There's awareness of your inner child, which again is so important because, like I said, we've got all these little children running around within us that we're not even aware of, and they are guiding our lives, and we don't even know it. And actually, just recently, I realized that these little hurt children that were inside of me were guiding about 50% of my life and helping me make decisions, especially in stepping forward. They were fearful, but it didn't show up in me as fear. It showed up in me as, let's go watch TV now. Let's go do a puzzle now. And those were distracting me from doing my work and creating products and creating content. And I realized it was about 50%. And so I've, through the activations of the awareness of the inner child, doing some shadow work, realizing all of these little parts of me. I have little names for them and ages. And, I'm used to now talking to them and holding them and being with them. Like I said, the inner child work is so important. However you do it, if you get a chance to do inner child work, please do. Some of that can come about in my sessions as well with people, depending, or in the programs that I've got. We can take time to go more into inner child work. There's also the activation in this series of 7 for receiving inner guidance. And there's learning how to ask the right questions when you're talking to your inner guidance and receiving information. And then there's the activation as well for listening for the answers and activating ways that you receive. And then there's also the gift of understanding, activating the gift of understanding. And that is helping you understand, I guess, in one way, it's helping you understand why people do the things they do. And especially if there's people that hurt you with their word or their actions, you might gain a new understanding of them, and then you're not so hurt, and then you're not so mad and upset at them, because you'll realize it's their problem, not yours. It's not you, it's them. And again, each one is, you'll receive from these activations what you need to receive, because they come through the present ones as well. So your higher self will take what you need and go from there.
No matter how many times you listen to them, it'll be different each time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As we evolve, there's like new layers, new activations that come with it for whatever we're ready for at that time.
Yes. Isn't it amazing? Like, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. All of this work that we do, all of these contacts with the higher guidance that we can have. Everyone can have these contacts. All you have to do is ask, and then stay open to receive the hint. Is it from this book? Is it from this speaker? Is it from a TV show? We just have to ask to be able to receive our own guidance. And we'll be given hints and messages. Each one of us will get a different hint or a message. You know, it's amazing. I just love what I do. I love this work. I love sharing. And, you know, our hope, me and the present ones, is that someone's life will be touched or changed by listening today.
Yes, and thank you for that. You know, as there's so much information out there, so much information, we could get triggered. There could be things, emotions that come up, and when we take that moment to ask, like if we're feeling like a victim or we're feeling down or sad, and we ask and we hear that still small voice, give us the guidance. We can feel all is well.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's the importance of doing this. And even the inner child work, I mean, wow, we can look, you must have gotten to a point where when you see that inner child, you can see the cries of that inner child, or the foot stomping, so to speak. Yeah. And you can see it all along the timeline of Barbara Marie throughout your life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can see that, even though here in this time you could be 35 years old or 28 or 40 or what have you.
Or 68.
Or 68, and you can say, wow, there's that 8-year-old or 12-year-old or 16-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
And the awareness of bringing in that inner child at whatever age is the integration that we're talking about when we talk about becoming whole, bringing in and healing those aspects. It really is multi-dimensional healing.
Yes, yes. 100% truth right there.
So thank you for bringing forward your gifts through the present ones, through the rainbow methods that you've listened to your inner guidance on, and you've actually witnessed how this has changed people who work with this, people who work with you. Yeah, isn't it amazing? It's lovely.
Yeah. It's wonderful to get the feedback, because there still is always this little part of me, well, it's just me, but I'm the one who's open to this. And I'm the one who's open to listening and sharing what the present ones have to say. So it's not the little me that's doing this. It is the open me, the the spiritual me that's saying yes to all of this, and my body's being used, and this is for all of us. Whatever we say yes to be of service, then whatever we need is going to come to us to be able to be of service, whatever that service is.
So say yes. Say yes. Say yes to the call of your heart. Yes. We do know that. And when we're in the flow, saying yes to be of service, even if that just means smiling at someone with your eyes. That is beautiful. And we are provided for in so many ways. As we heard, they know you are here. They know you are here. Wonderful. And that is so comforting. Oh, Barbara Marie, you are a beautiful guide with your teachings, and for those resonating with this, they know in their heart when this feels right. And your special offer is available for them in a personal session and light language activations. Again, that link is available on this webpage. We invite our listeners to check it out and work with Barbara Marie, a beautiful soul here in service to you and your higher self, in that connection with your higher self.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara Marie. Yay.
You're welcome. I love you, everyone. I hope that this has helped you in some way.
So as we say goodbye, is there a sentence or a phrase that you'd like to wrap everything up with?
Yes. Have a daily practice for spiritual growth. That's it. Create your own. Tap into mine with the Way of the Rainbow, but do something every day that helps you grow spiritually.
And fly with the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, that too.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Loren. Thank you to your listeners for the energy that I felt. It was the strongest in a group call that I have ever felt. So thank you, everyone listening.
Well, that is magnificent. And we thank you, Barbara, for tuning in and offering that. And we thank our listeners for joining us today in this heart space. It is so precious, and we hope that you are feeling the love. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Barbara Marie. Lovely.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now we dance our way to the cosmic heart, feeling into the colors of the rainbow as we dance in the heart space. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe, music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.